Good evening, guys. Good evening, guys. I want to believe you can hear me. If you can hear me loud and clear, please drop a comment. How was your day? If you had a profitable day, how was your day? If you can hear me loud and clear, please drop a comment. How was your day? How was your day? If you have any pair you want us to analyze together tonight, please drop it in the comment section. If you have any pair you want us to analyze together, drop it in the comment section. If you have any question, please do drop it in the comment section. How was your day? How was your day? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, drop a comment. If you can hear me, drop a comment. Drop a comment if you can hear me. Also confirm you can see my screen. Confirm you can see my screen. If you have any question or any there you want us to analyze together, just drop it in the comment section. Thanks for joining. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Waiting for your comments. Few minutes, guys. I believe you can hear me. I believe you can hear me. Few minutes. Just keep dropping your questions and there's you want us to look at together. Okay. Evening, Mr. Joseph. Today's market was a very choppy market, especially for USD pairs. Most of the USD pairs were just ranging today. There was no clear direction on those pairs. Okay, and that's because of the news that was released today, and also NFP that will be released on Friday. It's a typical what we saw today in the market is typical for NFP week. Okay, kind of movement we experienced today is a typical price action for NFP week. Okay, so if you have questions, if there's any pair you want me to analyze, please drop it in the comment section. Good evening, Mr. Joseph, okay, GU and AU, Mr. Hamilton. Good evening. Good evening. I hope the sound is clear. You can hear me loud and clear. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, so let's look at the calendar. I think we have some major news that will be released tomorrow. There are some major news that will be released tomorrow. So let's check the calendar. We need to be aware, we need to be informed about the news that will be released from the different countries. So we do that on Forex Factory. So today the data was negative for the dollar. It was negative and dollar was supposed to be bearish. Shockingly, it was bullish, right? It was bullish, and I will tell you why. I think there were some fair value gaps that it needed to fill. That was the reason it bought. That was the reason it bought. It was supposed to be bearish, but it's actually price USD actually gained value, and I think it's because of those imbalances that needs to be filled. Okay, so tomorrow is 30th of April, and you can see we have several major news that will be released tomorrow. So tomorrow will be a volatile market for Australian pairs. Australian dollar CPI data will be released by 2:30 a.m. Nigerian time. So we should expect high volatility on Australian dollar pairs. Then also all-day Euro German prelim CPI will be released tomorrow from Euro, and USD ADP non-farm employment change will be released by 1:15, and by 1:30 also we have advanced GDP and employment cost index KQ. This is one of the reasons for the ranging market. This GDP, gross domestic product, is an high impact news. So it's one of the reasons for the ranging market that we experienced in today's market, and that's USD pairs. Okay, so this is one of the reasons. This is one of the major reasons why uh, dollar is ranging. Advanced GDP, then you have employment cost index and also core PCE price index. So I would advise if you want to trade dollar, if you don't have any trade on dollar pairs, patiently wait for this news to be released tomorrow before you take any trade. Patiently wait for this news to be released for the dollar before you trade dollar pairs tomorrow. Okay. Most likely before New York session, price will just go into a range. Most of this major currency pairs, okay, most of them will just go into a range because of this GDP especially. Okay, so the institutions will be waiting for GDP to be released. Okay, retail traders also are waiting for, so the volatility before GDP will be very low. There won't be much liquidity before the New York session. The news will be released in New York session. So it's best to wait for this news to be released, okay, before you take a trade. Okay, so that's my take on fundamentals. So if there's any pair, okay, if there's any pair you want us to look at together, please just drop it in the comment section. EJ, GJ, good. Okay, we'll look at that. Mr. Joseph requested for GU and AU. Okay, we'll look at that in a few minutes. So let's start with looking at by looking at dollar index. Okay, let's start by looking at dollar index. Okay, few minutes, guys. Few minutes, please. Few minutes, please. Okay, I'm back. So dollar index. What can you see on dollar index? What can you see on dollar index? Like I shared with you guys at the beginning of the week, I think it was on Sunday we met for the weekly outlook session, that my bias for GB for dollar index is bullish, and my bias for the week still remains bullish for dollar index. It still remains bullish for dollar index. So I'm expecting dollar index to come fill this fair value gap. That's my expectation on dollar index. I'm expecting dollar index to come fill. We have a fair value gap here, a very tiny fair value gap here. We also have here, okay, this is where I'm expecting DXY to, this fair value gap. You can see it has created liquidity. You can see we are on, what time frame is this? Okay, so it has created liquidity. As you can see, this is a trap. A lot of people would have started buying dollar now. A lot of people would have started buying dollar. This is the trap, and their stop losses will be residing at this previous low. Okay, so there's a high probability they will come clear the liquidity residing at this previous low before going bullish. Okay, so that's my expectation on DXY. Price should come fill, clear the liquidity residing at this previous low, and also clear fill this fair value gap. That's my expectation. It could also drop to this mitigation block. It could drop to this area, also this mitigation block or this resistance on support. These are the areas you should be considering buying dollar DXY, going bullish on the dollar. Okay, so that's it on dollar index. My bias still remains bullish, but I see opportunity to sell. I'm going to sell the dollar. That's what I'm currently doing now. I have a trade on Euro USD. I'm buying Euro USD because I expect dollar index to drop. So at the moment, dollar index is what is bearish. Okay, dollar index is bearish. Okay, dollar index is this is 4-hour time frame. And you can see what we have here. This is inverted armor, this is inverted armor, this is inverted armor. These are strong bearish reversal pattern. And if you go back here, you would see I think we had a resistance turn support or a support turn resistance. Can you see it here? We had, and price has tested that resistance. You can see. Can you see that? This support turn resistance. Price tested it and the bearish reversal pattern forms. You can see that. So at the moment, DXY is bearish. It is bearish. You could only consider buying if this resistance is broken. That is when you can consider going bullish on DXY. But at the moment, it is what? Bearish. It is bearish. Price tested the previous resistance, the previous support zone resistance, and what do we have here? These are bearish reversal pattern. So dollar index should sell. Technically, dollar index is bearish at the moment. I hope that is clear. Any question or any contrary view on dollar index, let me know in the comment section. If you have a contrary view or you have any question on dollar index, let me know in the comment section. Let's look at yen basket. We use the yen basket to determine the strength of the yen. Okay, we want to know if yen is bullish or bearish. Okay, so let's start with the daily time frame. Let's start with the daily time frame. Now, based on what we have on the daily time frame, we can tell that dollar index is bearish, right? We can tell that dollar index is bearish. You can see we have a key resistance area here. You can see we had a key resistance area here. Dollar index is bearish. You can see this resistance zone. Okay, so you can see this zone, strong rejection from that zone, and at the moment on the daily time frame, yesterday candle closed. It closed below the low of, I think this was Friday. Yeah, no, this was Thursday, Friday. Yeah, this was Thursday. This was Friday candle, Monday, Tuesday. Okay, this was Friday candle, and you can see that the market is trading below the low of that Friday candle. That's an indication that there are more supply than demand. It indicates that we have traders who are interested in selling. Sorry, this is Euro JPY. Sorry, this is Euro JPY. Yen basket. Sorry, guys. So this is yen basket. So with the daily, yesterday candle closed. Yesterday was bullish, and today you can see it's an indecision candle. Can you see that? It's an indecision candle. Price, I think this bullish move was to clear the liquidity residing at this previous high. This high. That's the reason for this move. And I think they've achieved that. They've cleared the liquidity reside at this previous high. And if you go back here also, you will see that we had a support turn resistance. You can see, which is in confluence with, you can see this support turn resistance. You can see that. And I'm sure if you go down to lower time frame, you can see we have a fair value gap here too. Can you see that? We have a fair value gap here. So price has tested this level, strong rejection, and today's candle is likely going to close as a doji, which indicates change in trend from bullish to bearish. Change in trend from bullish to bearish. That's what we have on the daily time frame. Let's go down to 4-hour. Okay, this is what we have on 4-hour at the moment. You can see price tested the resistance level. Can you see this resistance level? And there was a strong rejection from that level. Can you see that? So at the moment, JPY, Japanese yen, is bearish. It is bearish. It is bearish. Okay, so if yen basket is bearish, it means yen is weak. it means yen is weak. So if you're considering trading GBP JPY on most JPY pairs, JPY is always the counter or quote, right? On most of the pairs. So you look for buys on those instruments, on those pairs. Okay, so it is bearish on 4 hour, bearish on daily. Let's see 1 hour. Okay, so this is what we have on 1 hour. It's created a support here. Price broke that support. When price keeps disrespecting support levels, you know that's a bearish structure. That's a bearish structure. Okay, so it broke this support that is created here. Then if you go down to 15 minutes, it's likely would have created fair value gap. Okay, let's see. So I think we have a fair value gap here. We have a fair value gap here. We also have here. So you should be looking for sells on yen basket at this point tomorrow. Okay, look for sells from this area. Okay, look for sells from this area. This zone. We also, I think we have a fair value gap here also. So this is the area. This will be the best area to consider selling yen tomorrow. Okay, that will be the best area to consider selling yen. This zone. I hope that's clear. Okay, so that is what I see on yen. Yen is bearish at the moment, so I think I'll be trading GBP JPY tomorrow. I will be trading GBP JPY tomorrow, and I will be going bullish on GBP JPY. Hopefully by 9:10 a.m. I should see my setup. By 9, yeah, between 9 and 11 a.m. I should see my setup. I should see my setup on GBP JPY or Euro JPY. Okay, from tomorrow, I think I would avoid USD pairs from tomorrow. I want to avoid USD pairs from tomorrow because of NFP, and also GDP will be released tomorrow. Okay, so I would avoid USD pairs and be trading yen pairs. Yen pairs, that's what I'm going to trade tomorrow. I think I have a clear direction on yen. You can see we have a shift in market structure here. First thing we did here was to clear liquidity, right? Clear liquidity, and the shift in market structure occurred at this point. You can see shift in market structure. So we need to wait for price to pull back to fill this fair value gap it's created before we go bearish. Is that clear? So now let's look at GU. So Joseph says GU. Let's look at GU, GBP, USD. Yen is bearish, dollar is bullish, PXY is bullish, yen is bearish. Okay, yen is bearish. Okay, Mr. God's will, can you see the screen? Mr. God's will, I believe you can see the screen. Okay, I hope you all can see my screen. I hope you all can see my screen. Okay, so on GU, my bias, like I said, my bias for GU still remains for tomorrow's market is still bullish. Okay, for weekly, my bias is bearish. My bias is bearish. So Euro GBP USD has created a lot of traps. It has created a lot of traps. Okay, you can see most retailers have been executing sell, 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 sell on GBP USD. All these highs are areas of liquidity. All these highs are areas of liquidity. So you can see these are relatively poor highs. High probability GU would clear these highs. Okay, I want to see this play out before NFP. Okay, I want to see this play out before NFP. GU is going to clear all this liquidity before it goes bearish. And I want to see that play out before NFP or after NFP. Okay, so let's start with the daily. So yesterday candle now, this was 29th, okay, 29th, and okay, this was yesterday's candle. It was bearish. GPS was bearish yesterday. Okay, it was bearish. So after the close of today's candle, So you can see this pullback will just be a retracement to this support. This is a break and retest. So this pullback will just be to come and test this resistance term support. That could be the reason for the pullback. Okay, that could be the reason for the pullback. Okay, so that's what we have on the daily. Let's go down to 4 hour. Let's see what we have on 4 hour. Can you all see my screen? Can you all see my screen? Please drop a comment if you can see my screen. Drop a comment if you can see my screen. So let's go down to 4 hour after the formation of this of today's candle. Let's go down to 4 hour. So let's see what we have on 4 hour. Okay, so you can see the candlestick pattern that we have on 4 hour time frame. Okay, so you can see very weak candles. Very weak candles. Okay, so this is what we have on 4 hour. So price tested that support we identified on the daily time frame. We also had resistance which became a support. Okay, so you can see price came filled this zone, and you can see the pattern that formed after price filled that zone. These are bullish reversal patterns. All these are bullish reversal patterns. Okay, so if the current 4 hour candle closes bullish, preferably above the high of this doji and the high of this candle, that would be the right time to consider buying GBP USD. Okay, that would be the right time to buy GBP USD. If a 4 hour candle closes above the high of this candle or the high of this candle, then you should be considering going bullish. I always advise wait for London session. That should be the best time. Okay, look for your setups in London session and in New York session. If you don't find your setup in London, there's a high probability that you find it in New York session. Forget about Asian session. Okay, 70% of the time, Asian session ranges. Okay, it ranges, so it's best to just focus. And if you're in Nigeria, you don't want to sacrifice your night for trading, so focus on London session and the New York session. I hope that is clear. So I'm still very bullish on GBP USD. Okay, I expect GBP USD to clear the liquidity residing at this previous highs before going bearish. That's my expectation on GBP USD. It should clear liquidity residing at this previous high before going bearish. I hope that is clear. So hopefully on Thursday, one will see a good setup to sell, or Friday after NFT news is released. Okay, but before then, I would look for buys. And like I said, I want to avoid USD pair. So tomorrow, I think I will go for GJ. I will go for GJ. I also want to introduce you guys to this site. I don't know if some of you make use of this site. Okay. Okay, so as you can see here, most traders come to this site to know the strength of the different currencies that you trade. This is Finvis. I don't know if some of you make use of this strength meter indicator. I don't know if some of you are familiar with it. Okay, so you come here to know the strength of the currency you want to trade, if it is strong or weak. Okay, so you go to finvis.com, go to Forex. Under Forex, then you click on performance. Okay, let me share this with you. I shared this with my team. That was yesterday. I created a video on that and I sent to my team, but let me share with you guys. Okay, so I'm still studying it. Someone just told me about it I think 2 days ago, so I'm still studying it. But you can also take some time to study it. Okay, add it to your existing tools and see if it can add to your boost your trading performance. Okay, so you can see you have it here, JPY, NZD. So I think JPY is the strongest at the moment. Okay, JPY is the strongest at the moment. Okay, but I think this is not updated yet. Like tomorrow morning, I think it will be updated. That's one thing I'm still trying to study. I want to know when this is being updated. Okay, I don't know the time it's actually updates. Okay, so I'm still trying to study that. So you come here, for example, JPY is the first here, it means it is the strongest and is the weakest. So you can just pair strong against the weak. So if you want to trade CHF JPY, you should be looking for sell. Okay, you should be looking for sell. You want to sell, if you want to trade CHF JPY, because CHF is the weakest here and JPY is the strongest, followed by NZD, then Australian dollar, then you have euro. These are the strongest currencies. Then these are the weak currencies. Okay, but I always advise that you do your technical analysis, know the buyers, know the order flow, know the structure. Okay, if it is bullish or bearish before you come to Finvix. Okay, before you come to Finvix, if what you have on Finvix is in agreement with your technical analysis, then you can go ahead and execute the trade. Okay, always do your technical analysis. Don't just come to Finvix and just pair strong and weak. You won't be profitable with that sort of approach. Do your technical analysis before you come to Finvix. Okay, so that is my take on. Let's go back to the chart. So that's my take on GBP Let's look at which other pair again. GBP Australian dollar USD. Let's see Australian dollar USD. Australian dollar USD. So I think Australian dollar USD has created areas of liquidity that needs to be cleared. So there's a high probability Australian dollar USD will come for all this liquidity. Okay, before selling. Okay, before selling, there's a high probability it will clear all this liquidity. So at least you can aim for like 60, 70 pips on Australian dollar USD. It's likely going to, there's a high probability. This is a trap for retail traders. Stop losses are residing at this highs and they will come for those stop losses. Okay, so this is what we have on a daily time frame. Yesterday was strongly bearish, but it respected the low of Monday. Can you see that? It respected the low of Monday. If it had closed below the low of Monday, then I would have said, okay, there are more supply than demand. But it respected the low of Monday. Can you see that? So let's go down to 4 hour. Let's see what we have on 4 hour. So you can see what we have on 4 hour. Last candle for the day closed as a spinning bottom. A spinning bottom. If I want to take a buy on Australian dollar USD, my entry will be above the high of this spinning bottom. Okay, my entry will be above the high of this spinning bottom. That is where I will consider buying. And this pullback we saw here today, I think a fair value that was created at this point, the market needs to fill. Okay, I think a fair value that was created. Let's just confirm that on a lower time frame. On the lower time frame, let's go down to 1 hour. So you can see on 1 hour, we had a fair value gap here. That could be the reason for the retracement. Can you see that? Can you see the fair value gap? You can see that could be the reason for the retracement, and that gap has been filled. And you can see the candlestick pattern that formed after that gap got filled. You can see this is an inverted hammer, spinning bottom, several bullish reversal patterns, and it has created a resistance here. Okay, it has created the resistance here. Like I said, I would like to see price close above the high of that spinning bottom on 4 hour time frame. So this will be my supply zone. So all I'm waiting for is for demand to exceed supply. Okay, that's all I'm waiting for demand to exceed supply. And how do I know demand has exceeded supply? If price breaks out from this zone. This is the supply zone at the moment. So I'll wait for price to close above this zone. That tells me that demand is higher or is more than supply. Then I'll look for buy above this zone. I hope that is clear. So that's my take on Australian dollar USD. Buy Australian dollar USD and aim for this high, this area of liquidity. There's a high probability will come for it. Okay, so that's my take for Australian dollar USD for tomorrow's market. Okay, Okay, so let's look at EJ, GJ. Like I said, I'll be looking for buys on EJ and also buys on GJ. Okay, let's look at EJ. Look at EJ, GJ, and gold, and we'll call it a night. EJ, Euro, JPY. Okay, so today Euro JPY was bearish. Yeah, it was bearish. Okay, so after the close of yesterday, and what pattern do we have on 4 hour? Let's go down to 4 hour. Let's see the pattern we had on 4 hour. So on 4 hour, you can see the pattern. The last candle for yesterday market closed as an inverted. Sorry, this is a spinning bottom. Okay, or some will call this an inverted hammer. You can see that price was used to clear liquidity residing at this previous low. This low was on 28. I think this was low of Asian session. Am I correct? Okay, so price was used to clear the low, the liquidity that was residing. This was the last candle for yesterday market. So price was used to clear liquidity residing at this previous low, and you can see the pattern that formed here. This is a bullish reversal pattern. So at the moment, Euro JPY is bullish. Euro JPY is bullish at the moment. But I'll wait for my execution will be in London session. My execution will be in London session. Okay, so it's a buy. I would like to see price close above the high of this candle. Okay, I would like to see price close above the high of this candle before going bullish. So the current 1 hour candle is likely going to close bearish, and if it closes bearish, it will create a resistance here, which is in confluence with the high of this bearish candle. So I would like to see price close above this level before going bullish on Euro JPY. Okay, and if I'm buying Euro JPY above that level, we have area of liquidity that can be used as TP. Okay, this high, there's a high probability is going to come for that high. Okay, that will be the first target. And we'll still have some fair value gaps here. Okay, so that will be the first target for Euro JPY. Okay, so that's it for Euro JPY. I am bullish on Euro JPY. Tomorrow's market, I am what? I am bullish. I am bullish. Okay, that's my take on Euro JPY. Bullish on Euro JPY. Same should apply on EJ. If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. If there's any pair you want us to look at together, drop it in the comment section. So let's look at GBP JPY. You should see a similar pattern on GBP JPY. Okay, so you can see GBP JPY. Let's start with the daily time frame. Let's start with the daily. Okay, so yesterday candle spinning bottom, respected the high. I think this was Friday candle. Am I correct? Yeah, this should be Friday. It respected the low of Friday candle. Okay, in as much the market is still trading below the low of Friday candle, the trend is still bullish. It is still bullish. Okay, that's it for the daily. It is still bullish. So let's go down to 4 hours. The pattern we have on 4 hour. Let's see 4 hour. Okay, cool. So see the pattern we have on 4 hour time frame. The support has been created here on 4 hour. If you go down to lower time frame, I'm sure we'll be able to identify a bullish reversal pattern on lower time frame. Let's go down to 1 hour. Okay, same on 1 hour here. You can see the pattern we have here. So and I think it has created a fair value gap that price needs to fill. Let's go down to 15 minutes. So you can see we have a fair value gap here. So there's a high probability this gap will be filled. Okay, this is where I will be considering going bullish. Okay, on GJ. This is where I'll be considering going bullish on GJ. There is a high probability price will pull back between now and London session. There's a high probability price will pull back to this zone. Okay, you can see what played out here. There was a clear on liquidity. This bearish move was to clear the liquidity residing at this previous low. And after the clear on liquidity, you can see there was a shift in market structure. Okay, you can see the shift in market structure. There was a shift in market structure at this point, and price needs to pull back to come and fill. If you apply your Fibonacci from this swing low to this swing high, you can see price is currently at a premium. Price needs to pull back to a discount area, and at that discount area, we have a fair value gap. So it has a high probability of dropping to this zone. That's the probability of coming to fill this fair value gap before going bullish. So that's my take on GJ. I am bullish on GJ. I hope that is clear. I am bullish on GJ. I am bullish on GJ. If you have any question, any pair you want us to analyze, please let me know. The last instrument I have on my list is gold. Once I'm done with that, then we'll call it a night. Unless you have questions or pairs you want me to analyze. Okay, let me know in the comment section. Please, if you're yet to like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Give the stream a thumbs up so that others can get to see this video. And if this is your first time joining the live stream, do subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. Okay. So gold. Let's look at gold. Give the video a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Please give it a thumbs up. Okay, so let's start with the daily. Okay. Let's start with the daily. It's Tuesday 29th. Okay. So daily. You can see this relative equal low. You can see these lows. It's a trap for retail traders. It's a trap. There are a lot of stop losses residing at this previous low. Okay, there are a lot of stop losses residing at this previous low that needs to be cleared. And also you can see below these lows, we have a fair value gap here. Can you see this fair value gap? So there's a high probability gold will fill this fair value gap before going bullish. So at the moment, I am bearish on gold. Okay, at the moment, I'm bearish on gold. So gold is likely going to come through this fair value gap. If price breaks out from this fair value gap, it's created here, then you can see we also have a fair value gap here, which is at what? A discount area. You can see this fair value gap is at a discount area. If you apply your Fibonacci from this swing low to this swing high, this fair value gap is at a discount area and it's in confluence with this resistance turn support. I believe you can see that resistance turn support. You can see. So there's a high probability gold is going to come fill this fair value gap before going bullish. So look for sales on gold. Okay, look for sales on gold. That is what I see. Gold is bearish at the moment. It is bearish at the moment. It is bearish at the moment. Any question? Is there any question? Do you have any question? If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. Any question? Is there any other experiment that you want us to look at? Let me know in the comment section. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. If there are no questions, please let me know. Let me know so that I can end the meeting. I also like to ask you guys if you prefer this ninth session. If you prefer the ninth session or the morning session? Which of the sessions is hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, Mr. Goswill says ninth is okay. Others, what's your take? What time is most convenient? 9 or 10 p.m.? What time is most convenient? 9 or 10 p.m.? From next week, I'll be dropping signals every time we meet. I'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, I want to be dropping signals. Okay, I'll be dropping signals. I'll tell you what you should expect, what price you should take your trades. You have to set your stop loss. I'll be doing that during the ninth sessions. I think you guys prefer the ninth session. Mr. Ned, you say you have to choose one. It's either morning or night. But I want it to be a time that will be convenient for everyone. Okay, I want it to be a time that will be convenient for everyone. Please pick one. Pick one, please. Which of the session is the most convenient for you guys? I'm waiting. 10 p.m. Mr. Goswill says 10 p.m. is okay. Mr. Ned, what time? What time? Evening, what time? Please, I need your response. I need your response. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. So I think would work with the ninth session. I think we'll be meeting at ninth. Okay. So I think ninth, 10 p.m. All right, 10 p.m. Okay. Ninth to be 10 p.m. Okay, it's okay. I'm cool with that. 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Okay. All right. All right. Good evening, sir. Mr. Daffy. Good evening. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So that'll be all for tonight's session. I wish you all a wonderful night. Wish you all a wonderful night. Okay. As I said, if you're new to this channel, subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you'll be notified by YouTube. I might come on live on YouTube tomorrow if I see a good setup, maybe in London or in New York session. I could call for a meeting. So that is why I said you should be subscribed to the channel so that anytime I come on live, YouTube will notify you. Okay, so that will be all for tonight's session. Thank you very much for your participation. Do have a wonderful night.